guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-free review of the Queens of Renthia series by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a adult fantasy trilogy, and this takes place in the queendoms of Renthia, in which everything has a spirit. So there's earth spirits, water spirits, air spirits, all of that. And those spirits are actually like living creatures that can do things to people. And that it's unknown why, it's explained throughout the series. But queens can control the spirits. So if they don't control the spirits will just destroy everything, will kill humans, will just run rampant, and just go in this cycle of creation and destruction over and over again. When the queens are controlling them, they're able to help people like do things and like build things and whatever, and they kind of keep them under control. So the first book follows our main character of Delena, and she is a like quiet student who is studying magic and studying like the spirits and things, but isn't particularly strong or anything. And then our other character, Ven, who is a disgraced warrior and like kind of Queen's Guard, who is a, like they call them champions. They are in charge of finding people who could be potential heirs to the throne. But because of this thing with the queen controlling spirits, the queen always has to have heirs, because otherwise, if they die, the spirits will just destroy everything. So Ven is in charge of that. So Ven ends up looking for a potential new heir and finds Delena, and their paths cross, and everything kind of goes from there. So throughout the series, this is a exploration of this world, of this magic, of the like queendom and heirs and all of that. And that is just like kind of the basis of this series. So first off, I'm talking about the world building. I think the world building is probably the strongest part of this series. I enjoyed the world building. It's nothing completely crazy. I mean, elemental type magic is something that we've definitely seen, but I tend to like elemental magic when there is like this manifestation of spirits and things. And so this idea of spirits being manifest is cool. The idea of the queens and things and how the power like can be helpful or it can corrupt. You know, we're kind of introduced slowly throughout the series into like what the relationship actually is with the spirits and things like that. So that was really cool. And just this idea of like constantly having this like threat and always having to have heirs that are not blood heirs. So it's never people, like it's never having a child so that there's an heir. It's always like you have to have a candidate that can take over for you at any time. There were some things about the final book that expanded on the world and that I wish the series was longer, because this is one of those series that like expands a little bit in the third book and you're like, I want to know more about that, and now you've opened up some ends that you can't tie before the end. So there was like that element here, but I think some of those things were still like pretty interesting. Next, we talk about our characters. I really enjoyed all of our characters. So Delena is a great character throughout. Ven is also great. As the series goes on, we also get introduced to Naylin, who is a mother. So she is an older character, like, you know, like maybe 30s or 40s. And if you enjoy a like guard, you know, like sort of romance with a guard type character, that is part of the series later on when Naylin gets introduced. So I don't really think that's a spoiler, but it's pretty clear that that's what's going to happen. And I think more people read the series if they hear about some of the tropes that happen later on in the series. So that is something, if you enjoy like older characters, you know, not just new adult kind of characters, because I think Delena is like 19 or 20. So not just like a young adult, then you have like her, and you also have some like other characters that get POVs later, so you kind of know what's happening in other parts of the world. So overall, I really liked our characters. I will say for me, even though I really liked having Naylin, who's like a mother character, there is some things about the kids and her being a mom that can be like a little grating for me personally. If you, like, I'm just not a huge fan of like little kids in stories, really. Like, that's not what I tend to read. And so there were parts about that like mother bear thing that just got a little bit grating for me, but overall, like if you enjoy that kind of exploration and like motherhood and all of that, she's a good exploration of that. There's also some interesting things with family and like parental relationships and things that are explored throughout, so I think all of that is like pretty strong as well. Lastly, we talk about the plot. I enjoyed all of these plots. I think this is like a solid, just like middle of the road fantasy series. It's not doing anything really like new and exciting necessarily, but if you just want like a solid series that takes place in a, you know, like forested kind of world that has these spirits, probably going to enjoy this. There are some elements of like the first book being like, you know, some training and stuff. The second book has a bit more of like a mystery element. The third book, I would say, has more of this like political kind of thing going on. So all of that has like key parts of like your traditional fantasy stories in it. And so I thought this was really solid. I listened to 2 of the books on audio and really enjoyed those as well. So yeah, I think if you want just like a middle of the road, like nice fantasy series, this is one that you might enjoy, especially if you like political intrigue and stuff. So the first book, I believe I gave 4 stars, the second book also 4 stars, and the third book 3 stars. So overall, like between a 3 and a 4 star series. So comment below and let me know what you thought of the Queens of Renthia. Thank you all for watching. I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.